Hello and welcome to the Park Life Podcast. My name is Mike. I'm a travel agent that specializes in all things Disney, from Disney World to Disneyland, Disney Cruise to Disney Alani. This is episode 44 of the Park Life Podcast, where we dive into various topics around travel and Disney. Today, I'm going to talk about what I consider to be some hidden gems and maybe some facts around Disney World. Now, some of these may not seem like they're hidden gems to some of you if you've been to Disney several times. But if you're not a frequent traveler to Disney, then this might be for you for your next trip. I have these in random order, things that I thought of along the way, things that maybe I haven't done in a long time, which kind of makes it hidden to me as well. So let's roll right into the list of things that I've considered to be hidden gems and maybe some facts or brief factoids about Walt Disney World itself. I'm going to start inside the Magic Kingdom. Every day, 365 days a year, can be Christmas. How, you may ask? Well, there's a Christmas shop at Disney World off to the left of the castle as you're walking down Main Street, heading towards Liberty Square. It's called the Ye Old Christmas Shop in Magic Kingdom. And the thing that makes this unique for me and a hidden gem, because a lot of people don't know about this, there's a mailbox inside that shop. And every day for 365 days, your kiddos can write a letter to Santa and mail it at that mailbox. Next time you go with your children or grandchildren, have them write a letter to Santa and drop it off in that mailbox. It'll be pretty special for them. We're going to stay inside the Magic Kingdom and we're going to head to the back side of the castle into a shop called Sir Mickey's. Here, adults and kids alike of all ages can get pixie dusted. A fairy godmother in training, also known as a cast member, will do a little saying and sprinkle pixie dust on top of your head. It's a free option, but it's pretty cool. I've done it before. I will forewarn you that uh, pixie dust in your hair may stick around for the entire vacation. We're going to head over to Hollywood Studios and outside of the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. So, as you're walking up towards the entrance, to the left side of the entrance, there is a wishing well, if you will, a well with a rope. And there's a sign on there that says, "Do not pull rope," but the word not is crossed out. And pull the rope when you're there next time. There'll be a little treat, a little special effect that you'll get to enjoy. I'm not going to say what it is, but go ahead and give it a pull next time you're there. This is a factoid that I thought was interesting. If you washed one load of laundry per day for an entire year and do that for 44 years, I should have done the math, but 365 times 44 years, that would equal the same amount of laundry that cast members do in Walt Disney World in laundry in one single day. Think about that. All of the resorts that they're washing linens and towels for, any guests that are having them do laundry on their behalf, all of that adds up to the equivalent of you doing one load per day every day of the year for 44 years. I'm not going to complain about doing my laundry at home anymore, that's for sure. Okay, back in Magic Kingdom, in Tomorrowland, underneath the TTA, the Transit Authority, which we all know as the People Mover, the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover, and by Astro Orbiter, there is a telephone. Also, in the candy shop in Main Street, there is a telephone. You can pick that up and you'll get to listen to some interesting conversations. So you can give that a try. If you've never been to Hollywood Studios, you won't know what I'm talking about. If you've been to Hollywood Studios, when you head towards the Tower of Terror ride, the hotel there for the ride, you'll hear screams throughout the day. Most people assume that those are the screams of the passengers on the ride themselves riding. Those are actually pre recorded screams just to help the effect of the ride itself. Now, I know I've noticed this after several times to Disney, but you will see a lot of the pavement where you walk is red. And that is done specifically, and this shows to me the ingenious of Walt Disney himself and the things, how meticulous he was and what he thought of. But he wanted the concrete red because he wanted it to appear that Walt Disney himself and Disney properties were rolling out the red carpet to their guests. So next time you're walking down Main Street on the red concrete, think about that. That was Walt's way of rolling out the red carpet for you and your family. Also on Main Street in the Magic Kingdom, along the tops of the buildings on either side of Main Street, you will see what appears to be American flags flying. Now, I say appears to be because each one of them has a specific flaw that makes it not official. It may be missing a star, it may be missing a stripe. This is done intentionally. American flag code indicates that the flag should be raised and lowered at night. It should be at half staff when necessary. And so, to avoid having to have cast members up on top of the buildings throughout the day to raise and lower and place those flags at half staff, they made the decision to alter those flags slightly. So they still give off the appearance of being American flags, but they are not indeed American flags. So you can kind of look for that next time you're there. Another Walt Disney and Disney properties, just ingeniousness. A trash can will be no further away than 30 feet from the next trash can throughout the parks. This is Disney's way of hopefully helping guests find trash cans when you have something to throw away and keeping the park themselves as clean as possible, knowing that there are tens of thousands of people in the park at any given moment. Um, Over in Hollywood Studios, back towards Tower of Terror, you're going to walk down the strip there towards the entrance of the ride. If you peel off to the right and keep walking, that's where the exit to the ride is at. And there's a gift shop in there. But before you get to the actual exit of that gift shop in the building, to the right, there's a seating area. I like to call it a grotto. It's got lattice, it's shaded, it's peaceful, it's calm. It's a wonderful place to relax, take a load off your feet, get out of the heat. Despite the fact that you're near Tower of Terror, it's relatively quiet. There's obviously other guests there and conversations happening, but it's somewhat tranquil and a nice, enjoyable area to be. Now, I'm going to get into some of the maybe less hidden gem things, but still, I guess I would call these things that maybe don't get talked about a lot, and therefore some people might not know about them. We're going to start in Epcot. And the first, and again, this some of you might be like, that's not hidden, and it's huge, and that's the aquarium. So when you go into what is the ride for Finding Nemo, at the end of that ride, you will see Epcot's aquarium. It's a massive aquarium. I think it's the second largest in the country behind the Atlanta Aquarium. And beautiful scenery, beautiful sea life there that you can enjoy. Nice and calming. I know we've stood and watched dolphin or sea turtles or some different fish swim, and we'll watch for 10, 15 minutes. So something to make sure you enjoy. Some people may not go down that way if the line for the ride is longer than they want to wait, and so therefore they miss out on the aquarium. You can walk in through the gift shop entrance, which is off to the left of where the ride entrance is, and get to the aquarium without having to wait in line for the ride. Also, inside that same area near the aquarium is an interactive show called Turtle Talk with Crush from Finding Nemo. It's a really fun, engaging show for all ages. It's unique with every show because the star attraction, Crush, interacts with the crowd, asks for somebody to stand up and introduce themselves and where they're from and all these different things. And that's all added into Crush's um, discussing or talking in the show. So unique in each and every time. Great show. And again, if you don't go down to Ride Nemo because the line is too long, you might miss out on Turtle Talk with Crush. Now, the third thing I think is fun, especially if you've got littles. I remember when my kids were little, and the parks are huge. It can be very warm. The kids can get worn down and they can get a little squirrely. We would make our way over to the Germany Pavilion in the World Showcase at Epcot. And there is an area that has, it's a huge train yard basically for miniature trains. And sometimes there might be two or three running, sometimes there might be five or six running. I know with my youngest son, who's now 19, when he was 3 or 4, we would go and he and I would stand on the little bridge in that for half hour, watching the trains go around and watching them come and go underneath the bridge where we were standing. And it helped um, put him in a more relaxed mood if he was getting squirrely. It allowed him to just kind of physically relax a little bit, enjoy the trains, and kind of help rejuvenate him. So, again, if you've got littles in particular, it's a great area to go and let them enjoy the trains. If you're a train aficionado, it's always fun as well. Let's over to the Magic Kingdom now. So early on, I talked about the what I'll say faux flags along Main Street. This is in the front courtyard as you go underneath the train station in Magic Kingdom. When you first enter the park, there is a flagpole with the flag, and it is a real flag. They raise it in the morning, they lower it in the evening, they put it at half staff when necessary. But this hidden gem, again, some of you might be like, that's not hidden, but I know we'd been there probably 10, 15 times and I had no idea about it. So this is why I call it out. At 5 p.m. every day, weather permitting, they do a flag retreat where they lower that flag and fold it up for the evening. And you might think, well, that's why is that so special? Well, they identify at least one veteran park guest for the day that gets to participate in the event. The Dapper Dans are there. They sing the national anthem. They do the Star Spangled Banner or the Pledge of Allegiance. They sing God Bless America. They lower the flag. They present it to that veteran. They then walk down Main Street about halfway towards the castle and veer off to the right in one of the little side streets. And they do a little ceremony there. And then what's really spectacular, I think, in particular about this is a number of cast members, could be 10, 15, 20, sometimes 30, all line up so that they can shake the hand of that veteran and thank them for their service to our country. It's a really unique experience. I think it's heartwarming and chilling all in one breath. You can feel the hair stand up in your arms. It's just so patriotic and special, and a great way to reward and honor our veterans. The next two at Magic Kingdom, again, are not hidden gems, but I think some people skip them because they're not sure what exactly they may be. They're inside, so you don't see them. The first is the Mike Wazowski Laugh Floor in Tomorrowland. It is a comedy show, basically, about a 10-minute comedy show, which, again, it is unique with each show. They will engage the audience. And so, therefore, Mike Wazowski's monologue will change based on the experience with the interaction with the audience. Now, I will warn you if you are incredibly shy, reserved, don't like to be um, made a point of attention, I guess, if you will, you might want to be careful. There are certain seating spots within the theater, and I think they sometimes change slightly because they don't want everybody to know exactly where they are, where you might be put up on screen. You might be asked to uh, act like an alien, make alien sounds, different things like that. But that's part of the beauty of that show because each guest is going to act differently, and the reaction of that guest and the guests around them makes each and every show, to me, very unique and fun to watch. It's also inside, it's air conditioned. You get to sit down and take a little load off and give your body a nice break as well. The third one in the Magic Kingdom is the Enchanted Tales with Belle. This is an interactive show with Belle herself. So your kids get a character sighting and kind of greeting with her. Some kids, some adults, some dads get to participate in the show. They'll ask for volunteers. So it's a fun and unique show. Again, I think it's one of those things where Some people walk right by it, not realizing that it's there or what it's about. They don't realize that it's a character experience. They certainly don't see a ride or anything like that. And so some folks might walk right by it and miss it. Let's head to Hollywood Studios. And again, some of these may not necessarily be hidden gems, but some folks might skip them because they have a preconceived notion. The first one is the Frozen sing along. Now, the preconceived notion that I think some people may have is if they didn't care for the movies, the Frozen or Frozen 2, they don't have little girls, they don't have children, they may think it's all frozen and not interesting. Well, it is Frozen, and they do sing some of the songs from the movies. But they have a couple of storytellers that make each experience unique. There is kid humor. There is also adult humor. It's clean adult humor, the kind that just goes right over top of little kids' heads. But mom and dad could be sitting there looking at each other, giggling, smiling out of the corner of their mouth, while their son or daughter sitting by them has no idea that what was just said was funny. So it's a great experience there. Again, another one that's inside in a theater, air conditioned. The seats are very comfortable. It's a great rest spot for you. If you've never been over to Launch Bay, if you are a Star Wars fan inside Launch Bay, you have the opportunity to meet Chewbacca or BB 8. Sometimes they do mix in some other Star Wars characters, but it's a great Star Wars experience. And again, it's inside. Now, there's no seating, but you're inside in air conditioning, so you can kind of get a respite from the heat at Hollywood Studios. And then the third one, I think I already mentioned earlier, again, but I'll mention it again, and that is the kind of seating grotto area outside of Tower of Terror at Hollywood Studios. A great relaxing area to sit. Because it's somewhat covered, we've sat there before when it's rained and been able to stay pretty dry without needing to throw on a poncho or throw up an umbrella. So something else to consider. And lastly, let's head to Animal Kingdom with my three items that are either hidden gems or things that might be experiences that some of you have never done before. The first one is the Feathered Friends Bird Show. If you love animals, if you've never seen this show, it is incredible. I will say, if you have a fear of birds, a healthy fear of birds, you may want to consider not doing the show. There will be instances where one of the birds will fly right across over the top of the audience, a foot or two above our heads. There are times when they're flying crossways near us. There are guest interactions where they'll ask guests to participate in the show, where maybe two people will get up and put their arms together to create a circle and a bird will fly right through it. Um, the amazing way that they've taught some of these birds to do some of the things that they do just is fascinating. You get to really have a new appreciation for some of the birds that maybe we don't see back home sometimes, or maybe you see them just at the zoo and things like that. I don't want to give away too much, but at the end of that show, they bring out a very unique and special bird that, again, for me, I can just feel the hair on my arms kind of stand up from the excitement of seeing that bird and then being in awe of just how big it truly is. So if you've never been to the Feathered Friends show, I'd highly encourage you to go and see it. It is on the My Disney Experience app, and you can check out the times that the show starts. It's not in an inside air conditioned seating area. It's outdoors, but it's kind of theater seating, bench seating. You are in the shade for the most part. So you get a little bit of a respite from the hot sun. Um, just outside of the Feathered Friends, across the walkway, is a nice covered seating area that's right along the waterway. It's usually fairly empty in the times that I've walked by it. We've sat there before and been able to just really enjoy the beautiful scenery you can see across the water over to the Tree of Life. You can see Everest from one direction, and then obviously just any of the birds, ducks, geese, things like that that are around. You can enjoy the wildlife as they are flying or swimming in the water. Great place to rest. And then lastly, at Animal Kingdom, again, not necessarily a hidden gem, but I think a lot of people bypass it, and some people may not even know about it, and that is the Rafiki's Planet Watch, where you get on a train and it takes you back to the Planet Watch area, the conservation station area. There's a petting zoo. You can also go inside into an air conditioned area. There's live veterinarians there that are sometimes doing checkups on some of the animals. Maybe sometimes they're doing operations of minor sorts on animals. And you'll get to stand right outside the glass and watch them perform these procedures. In most instances, if it's not the veterinarian, it's maybe an assistant that is mic'd up inside there, and they're actually talking to the guests through a speaker outside in the viewing area. So it's very interactive. If you have an interest in animals, if you have a son or daughter that has an interest in animals, that maybe they have an interest in becoming a veterinarian, it's a great place to go and watch. Also inside that building, there is a animation station where they do drawing classes throughout the day, and you'll get the chance to grab paper and pencil and draw a character that they're drawing. They'll take you step by step in how to do that. It's fun. You're in the air conditioning. You're sitting down. It's interactive. Your kids can do it. I mean, now if you have a 2-year-old, they may not be interested, but gosh, you have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old. I think they would enjoy trying to draw whatever character it is that they're drawing. That is my list today for what I consider to be hidden gems, or maybe things that are somewhat off the beaten path, things that maybe people have preconceived notions of and therefore maybe have skipped out. You can't go wrong with anything that Disney offers, really and truly. But I hope you've enjoyed this. If you've done any of these quote unquote hidden gems, I'd love to get a comment from you. What did you think about them? Are there any that I mentioned that you've never done before and have an interest in? Let me know that. Are there things that you consider to be a hidden gem that maybe I didn't bring up? Share those as well. Everybody is welcome to comment. Love to have your comments. And I always make sure that I read those and react or respond to those. As I said at the very beginning, this is episode 44 of the Park Life Podcast. If you want to see me do these podcasts, you can find me on the Park Life Podcast YouTube channel. These podcasts get posted out every Monday morning at about 5 a.m. Eastern. If you're not in front of your phone or computer or tablet, but want to listen in, you can do so on Spotify on the Park Life Podcast channel. Great way to listen in on some Disney talk while you're driving to work, taking the kids to school, running errands, whatever it may be, out for a walk, even. How about that? So I'd love to have you engage with us. If you know somebody that would be interested in listening in on Disney information, share this podcast out with them, share the locations out with them. Speaking of locations, if you want to get in touch with me, you can do so by chat here in this channel. You can also get me on my personal channels on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube at Mike_Disney Travel, all one word, or on Facebook, Mike's Magical World Vacations. Love to engage with you. We also do a live Park Life podcast on Wednesdays on the YouTube channel at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I encourage those joining to send in their questions that they have so we could engage those and I answer those. We'll do questions live. I'll share any of the week's news, any new promotions that have come out for Disney trips. And then at the end, we do some fun interactive stuff. I might have questions for the audience, or maybe I come up with some type of Disney game that we play. Love to have you join it. I think that's it for today. If you would like me to help you plan your Disney trips, I would love to do that. My services are completely free. Disney has the commission for their travel agents baked into the pricing. So, love to work with you, love to work with your family. Otherwise, if you just have questions, I'd also be happy to answer those as well. At the end of the day, if you can have a great time at Disney, it's a win win. All right, that's it for today. I hope you have a great day and an even better tomorrow. And as I always like to say, when you wake up tomorrow, it's a great day to be alive. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week. Bye bye.